but I don't know why the double Ds. I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere.
They write themselves, don't they, right now?
This week on That Car Show, we go crazy for Defenders in the desert. Lindsey teaches a Subaru Forester Wilderness a thing or two. I go trail hunting in the Toyota 4Runner Trailhunter, and Dan goes where the streets have no name and the Joshua trees are cheap. All that plus more Mustang GTDs, some double Ds, and even some Tesla news. It's That Car Show.
Hey folks, welcome to this week's That Car Show. The original car show and quote of the week is imitation is the best form of flattery. And I won't say any more than that. But welcome to Lindsey and Ryan. We're back for another cruise show. Firstly, I wanted to give you guys a hat tip because of the scoop of getting the Masked Singer. Well, almost the Masked Singer. It was the Los Angeles Death Highway creator, which I don't think any other podcasters had that gentleman. I'm assuming it's a gentleman. Who knows?
According to the voice disguiser, but AI is getting pretty good these days. So there was one other podcast that he was on probably in the last year called What's Up Player, and otherwise we're the only ones. And that was a really fun, very unique recording experience, wouldn't you say, Ryan?
It was, but really enjoyed that one. Have had a lot of great feedback. A lot of people know of the account. Other people didn't, now do. I mean, he's kind of a genius, right?
I know. Talk about recognizing, a need and filling the void. But I mean, and he was so nice. Like,
she's great. He's
so
awesome.
nice to chat with. Such an interesting conversation.
Yeah. You go back and you rewatch those and you see stuff you missed the first couple of times, right? And it is the details. It's the name of the place on the sign. It's the, just the way, I don't know, the shoes someone has on. I mean, it's just, it's so good. It's so good.
There's so many Easter eggs on there. If you've not seen his account, it's Los Angeles Death Highway. And
just Angeles Death Highway.
Angeles Death Highway. And he uses AI to basically bring car culture to life in California, and also car culture that's not afraid to take the piss out of each other. So it's really, really good. And our episode was great. So if you haven't listened to that one, recommend you listen to it. And the feedback we've had from last week's episode, where do we start?
What a guy.
It was the common theme was like the posts on Instagram was, he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy. You've got a great guy there. So it's we thank him again for joining us last week.
That's right.
Got to have him back in time too.
Yeah, that was an interesting conversation. I mean, what a unique collection. Yeah. Like he's the one of one, really.
Yeah.
Well, and I have to say the last post, or I think Johnny posted a screenshot from one of the Angeles Death Highway videos, I think the Malibu one. And I looked at the screenshot and I'm like, I have that picture in real life of like Spike and Jerry and Johnny and Matt and everybody just milling around talking like right in front of the porch at Malibu Kitchen. I was like, yep, I have a version of that picture, but mine is real.
Have we ever seen you and ADH in the same room, Lindsey? I don't know.
We have not.
And if they were both on the podcast, how does that work? How does that work?
Again, AI's getting really good.
Really good. It was interesting. The latest one starts with Leno driving through. There's a bit of a hat tip to the old place. And it's basically, if you're not going to buy food, have sex and travel. And I'll say I was up there a couple of weeks ago, and whilst I appreciate that there were probably a lot of people that were going to that location, it's a location up in the hills above Malibu, and probably not buying food and drink, and it's a business. We went there, and the maitre d' was very unfriendly and unwelcoming, and we just wanted to buy a drink, but we wanted to give them business. So they got it spot on. They got it spot on. Now I want to talk about Lindsey. Lindsey, you represented both yourself and the podcast at an industry event. I think it was last week. What was that all about?
On Thursday. So Avance has done, this was the second year in a row now, during Women's Month, they do a women's panel at it's called the One Drivers Club. It's a car storage and social club in Seattle. Dan and I have been there. And they put together a panel of women in the industry. Last year, I knew a couple of the people. And I offhandedly said to Chrissy, who was the Avant Seattle director and is now the national director, I said, all right, this is my motivation. I'm going to work really hard so I get invited to be on the panel this year. And lo and behold, I was asked to be one of the panelists. So it was a really diverse group of women. I was there, like you said, Dan, representing us, the show, and myself, and just they wanted women to come and share their stories of their path through the automotive world. And the gal next to me owns two of the well-known Porsche shops here. And she's actually from Ukraine and left during the war, came here, bought one shop, has built that up, and then bought a second shop. And then the gal on the other side of me was kind of trying to figure out what her next move was. She'd had a baby and wanted to be in automotive. She went through the certification process for STEC, and she's now like a master PPF wrap technician. And then the gal on the other side of her she's an instructor at Performance, which is the high performance driving school and race school that I started driving at. So that was really cool. And then our last but not least panelist was the gal that owns the Pacific Raceways where Performance is.
It's a good company.
It was.
Sounds like we might have some future guests.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Can we find this recording somewhere?
It was not recorded, but I have some videos that I will probably be sharing.
Okay.
And I have a lot of still pictures, and Tori managed to catch a lot of like bloopery, very funny shots of all of us. It was a really cool group of panelists. Shabby, who's now the Seattle director, she succeeded Chrissy, and she and Chrissy co-hosted. And there were probably 50 people, and there were a lot more like men were there too this year in the audience, which was cool to see. So it was really great group. We had an interesting discussion. Everybody has a really unique story and totally different paths, but a lot of good advice.
Yeah.
Excellent. I should probably explain. I didn't explain at the beginning. Ryan is currently on location in Santa Fe. Is that right, Ryan?
That's right. Santa Fe, as they say. It's like, one,
Oh, the emphasis is
Santa
on
Fe
word,
is
right?
closed,
Yeah. If you know, you know.
And the reason that he's in Santa Fe is potentially because he's on vacation, but the real reason was that he begged Toyota to borrow a car, and they said only if you give it a proper road test. So you've taken it for more than 7 hours. Is that right?
Yes, after that glowing GR Corolla review that I did, I feel like I'm probably good for a while. And this is a very different car. So this is the top of the line current 4Runner. It's called the Trailhunter. And I had driven the Tacoma, the Taco version at an event about a year ago and really kind of fell in love with it. It's really unique in that it is a 4Runner that needs nothing out the door to go overlanding, to go off-roading. And it's unique in that it's got aftermarket parts from the factory, right? So it's got ARB rack, it's got a steel bumper in the back, it's got old man Emu suspension parts, it's got rigid lighting in the front. The wheels it's got these beautiful bronze wheels, which are probably aftermarket as well. And it has I guess, standard on the Trailhunter, optional on a couple of the lesser trims. I don't know what the name is, but it's basically this mild hybrid with a turbo. It's a 4-cylinder, and it makes about 330 odd horsepower and I think 450 some pound-feet of torque. And the most amazing thing is it's got a snorkel from the factory that makes all the pops, whistles, and whatever sounds you want going down the road. It's kind of a love it or hate it proposition. I love it because I'm just a big child and I've got the windows down, and my wife not a big fan, daughter somewhere in between. Great, capable car. We tried to find some trails today down here in Santa Fe that would be a challenge. Couldn't find any. It's so capable. It just rolls through or rolls over everything. And people love this thing. It's this sort of blue-green with these bronze or gold accents. I've had more people come up to me to ask me about it, to say, hey, cool car, waves from other 4Runners. I heard from a couple people it's their dream car. So it's not my dream car.
Goodness.
Wow.
And I wouldn't want to
review.
It's a thing. It's a vibe. I wouldn't want to drive the thing every day, but I could see someone who had a daily driver, much like we have Porsches for the weekend, right? This would be their weekend car. It's maybe not so practical day to day, but hell of a thing. Lots of little Easter eggs, little hidden things like a Bluetooth speaker that pops out of the dash, a JBL speaker that's always charged. You've got stereo controls in the back. There's an air compressor on board. It's a hell of a thing. I feel very at home in it here in Santa Fe. I feel like, I belong.
Right.
Might
You're
feel,
properly kitted out.
yeah. So it's growing on me for sure. Much like other Toyota products, right? You get in, sometimes things are a little old school, whatever, but like the GR Corolla, by the time I had to give it up, I wanted one. And I have a feeling it's going to be the same thing with this thing. So
Interesting.
yeah.
People who have not been to Santa Fe, what is the terrain and is it a desert? Is it mountains?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's at about 65 or 6,800 feet where we are. So it's quite a bit higher than even say Denver, right? It's unseasonably warm here, much like Denver. I think it was in the low 80s today. And they also, much like Colorado, didn't get a lot of snow this winter. And so, creeks and rivers are a little low, things are a little brown. But yet like the trees are flowering and all this. So I would say it's high desert, I think is what they call it. It is not as severe a terrain as say like the Rockies in Colorado for the most part. But it's really beautiful. You've got tall pine forests and this and that. It's kind of rolling where we are. And I'm sure there are some trails here that could give the Forerunner a run for its money, but we haven't.
You've got a few more days to find them and report back.
That's right.
So what do the car parks look like there? Are they full of off-road SUVs or?
It's interesting. I've seen some interesting Porsches here. I've seen some air-cooled stuff. There's a great Porsche scene down here. I know we have a lot of listeners down here. I've seen a lot of Geländewagens, old and new. Europa, who used to import G-Wagons before they were, legal. You could buy one through the dealerships. They were in Santa Fe for many, many years. If you, would read those old road and track magazines, you see the ads in the back for Europa and Santa Fe. Lots of old Saabs for some reason.
Really?
It's professor types who come down here to retire and stuff, which would explain that. But the biggest thing that has really shocked me is I have seen, I bet 24 late model Defenders. I have seen more Defenders here than I've probably seen, anywhere else, including LA. The Defender per capita
that's saying something
is crazy. 2 doors, 4 doors, every trim level, they're everywhere. And I suppose it'd be a pretty ideal car for here.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, especially if you like going off-roading, which it sounds like is easy to do.
I have a feeling most of these probably do, but they look good in the valet.
They want to look like they could just, turn left and head out on the trail.
But our buddy from Defender, Sam Allen, I'd love to talk with him. Is this, kind of a hot spot? I mean, it must be. There's a car scene down here for sure. A couple Maybachs, which kind of threw me, newer Maybachs. So there's definitely a moneyed set here, a little bit of everyone. But it's the Defenders that really that struck me. So
it's so interesting. Well, especially seeing the 90s, the 2 doors, those always catch my attention because there are, a number of Defenders in Seattle, especially on the east side. But the 2 doors are much more rare. I saw a blue 90 the other day and I was like, what? Never seen that combo.
So good. I was at a bagel shop before we left Denver to come down here, and there was a white 90, white with black wheels and all this. Right. And I got caught by the owner taking pictures of the thing, and she was a young woman. She was home from college. It belonged to her parents. She went on and on and on, and about how it's her parents' favorite car. And I remember talking to Sam Allen about, well, who buys these cars? And he said, well, it's like this or a Porsche, right? And I definitely got that vibe from her as well. And I think I need one. I really do. But I want a 90. I want a Tudor. They're just so rare, and they're just that much cooler in my eyes. So anyway,
well, and it is a conversation piece, and I think
for sure.
I think that's one of the things I love about the Defender is that because there are the 3 variants, there really is something for every family or person or situation or use case without sacrificing, where you're like, well, I'll just make this work. I'll make this extra long one work, or I'll make the short one work. You don't have to make it work. You can just pick the one that works perfectly for you.
And it's one of the few cars that looks great in appliance white. So.
Yes. I think that's my favorite color. They have that beautiful dark burgundy metallic, which I love, but I always go like, okay, but the white.
Yeah.
Right, but the white one.
Right. Yeah. If you ever want to drive a Raisin, that's the color for you. But I know the one. It actually looks very, very nice.
It looks like there's something about the lines of the current Defender and that color.
Yes.
Is absolute perfection.
Yep. Works well on British cars across the board.
It does. Yes.
And I think, Lindsay, you talked about this a little bit last week, but you've also had a press car recently. I'm the only one who's not had a press car for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
It's because you're busy working.
That's right.
Something's very strange if you haven't had a press car in a few weeks. That's
right.
You've been the one who's been, press cars coming out your ears. So Ryan and I felt like we had to balance the scales a little bit.
Yeah.
So they say timing is everything. You picked up a Subaru just in time for
Seattle. Yeah, for Seattle to actually have winter. I mean, people had started saying to each other, like, gosh, we didn't get any snow. It was really mild, this winter. And be careful what you wish for, because we got, depending on where you were, we got between 1 foot and 2 feet of snow.
Did you really?
It was crazy. But like you said, Dan, timing was absolutely perfect, because I got a 2026 Subaru Forester Wilderness Thursday morning, and Friday we woke up to snow. So I was very well outfitted, and immediately took it and went in search of more snow, because we were getting some accumulation where I am, but I headed inland. And again, the timing was really funny, because I got it Thursday. Friday, it started snowing. Saturday was the Avance Women's Off-Road Day, which is the other event that they do for Women's Month. And I took the car and went in the, vague direction of Dirtfish, but ended up at Dirtfish ultimately. And I was like, oh, well, without meaning to, we kind of went and did some recce, which is like the day before the rallies, they go and check the route. So we went and checked out where we were going to be. And the car's so fantastic. Like, and Ryan, you've had one too, not that long ago.
A few weeks ago. Yeah.
We just had different colors, but same car. They're so fantastic. And it did so well in the snow. Like, never had a minute's hesitation. Like, I felt completely confident. Because we kind of went exploring. I'm like, it's got these amazing all-terrain tires. Again, like you said, stock from the factory with the 4Runner as an overlander. This is their off-road trim, the Wilderness is for Subaru. So I was like, well, let's see how it does. And it has, I don't know if you got to try the different drive modes, the X mode, and it's got, regular and then snow.
Much as I could without snow,
Right. Like, and then it's got deep snow and mud, which I really used on Saturday for the off-road day.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Is the Wilderness the top one, or do they do one that's more luxurious at the top end?
They do. They have a touring and a limited, which those are the more luxurious ones. And so I had the Forester last year, 2025, for the women's off-road event. And the one I had was actually the touring, which is like the more creature comfort luxury trim level. The Wilderness is the take this off-roading, and it comes from it's got rubber mats, it's got all-terrain tires, a little more ground clearance. You can see the car is raised up a little bit, and it was ready to go.
You had some great photos of kicking up rooster tails of mud and snow, and I think I saw the car off the ground at times.
Oh yes,
you really put it through its paces.
Oh yeah. It was like, I asked for a car to take off-roading, and they gave it to me, so we did. And it was up on 3 wheels multiple times. Awesome. And because of the snow, the water was much deeper than it was last year. So the course was much more aggressive. And so X mode has one option called deep snow and mud, and I was in that mode all day.
Excellent.
The water, and this car does not have a snorkel, and it's obviously lower than a 4Runner. So there was one area, and luckily they have basically corner workers on the course, spotters. And they kept telling us, they're like, okay, at the end, it's too deep. It's too deep. It's too deep. And finally, I'm like, are we going to be able to finish the course? Like, what are we talking about? But we just had to go over on the side, because they had the corner, or the spotter had a Raptor. And they're like, it was about up to the top of the Raptor tire, which would have been, mid-window on the Forester with no snorkel. But it just chewed up the course. Like, the water was up to the top of the hood in some places. But
you want to get another one in time. So, you want to return it.
Yeah, look after it.
Right. Oh, yeah. I mean, I off-roaded responsibly. But we had the best time. The whole rest of the week, we're talking about how much fun we had. The car did amazingly. I had the same experience last year when I took the Forester last year. People kept coming up to me and going like, "You're in the Subaru? Wait, tell me about this." they're like, I'm having so much fun watching you. You're tearing up the course. It's so capable. And yeah, like people were waving us over or running over when I'd finish a lap. They're like, this is so cool. I got the best video of you. I got the best pictures. I have to send them to you. So between the people that were out there driving with us and then the photographers that Avance provides, we got some pretty amazing photos and video.
So, Lindsey, you mentioned that there may be some changes at a certain airport in California, and that may have a big implication on car storage in LA.
Yes, they have announced after many years of people being afraid that this was going to happen or, rumblings about it, they have announced officially the Santa Monica airport will be closing, I think in 2028. So they have a couple years of runway, obviously, to figure out solutions. But, we all listen to, right? Thank you. I'll be here all week. We all listen to Spike's Car Radio, and they talk about that's where they keep parts of their collections. That's where Jerry keeps his collection in LA. I know Ewan McGregor used to keep his collection there. So there are a lot of car collections there because it's a fantastic location. It's completely secure because it's an active airport. So everybody feels comfortable leaving their cars there. And I think they say they're going to turn it into a park. And my gut reaction was like, well, parks in California have unfortunately become, in a lot of places, they've just become campgrounds. And so it's disheartening because obviously that's going to cost taxpayer dollars. And to go like, wait, but there's so many people that the airport is actively serving in a positive way. And that's going to go away. And it's been there for, decades. It's a historic landmark. I don't know if it's officially a landmark, but yeah, it's too bad to see it go away.
Any chance they'd keep the hangars and the storage and all that, or it
doesn't sound like
Dunsies?
It.
Okay.
They said they're going to put in like a park and sports courts and.
Some developer will make some money off the deal. It's
going to be a big pickleball site.
Sure.
Right.
And then they'll close it because the neighbors will complain about the noise.
Right.
And, we know this. We've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, we all know how this goes. Can we just leave it as an airport, please?
Yeah.
And then
because Matt Farrow obviously has got Westside.
Yeah.
He took a number of years to build that. So, there aren't many choices, are there, locally for car storage? So,
right, and he's full.
Yeah.
I mean, even with he's got 2 locations now, and he's, I think has a wait list. So that's a constant conversation in Southern California is like, where do you keep your cars? Because, a lot of people are lucky enough they outgrow their own garages very quickly. There are the 1% of the 1% who end up just buying the houses around them to use the garages for storage, which is more common than you'd expect. Yeah, they're just like
Obviously
us. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Yeah.
So, I can find a second space at my apartment if anyone wants to park a Ferrari. Just call me. We'll make that happen. As long as I get usage rights.
Right.
There you go. It's free. You just need the extra set of keys, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Great location.
It's fully gassed up. Do you know what my apartment block was on? I watched a TV show called The Rookie. Have you guys seen The Rookie?
No.
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it yet.
It was a TV show with Nathan Fillion, and when I went off to, I went off to Phoenix Car Week, Scottsdale Car Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the week before, I got a note in the post to say the road's going to be closed for filming. So unfortunately, I was away when they were filming. But there was a big car scene that I watched tonight on this show called The Rookie, and it featured my apartment block. So
that's wild.
Even my apartment you could see, but
that's cool.
No one in.
That's
so watch The Rookie, and near the end there's a car.
It's a cop show, yeah?
Yeah.
So we're in Santa Fe here, and we're driving down the highway, and I see 3 New Mexico state police cars all in a row. In green and white and red lights, and then I realized, these are like cars from like the 70s. They were filming a movie, and they were sort of it must be a cop movie. But muscle memory being what it is, I immediately slammed on the brakes. I mean, I wasn't driving in the 70s, obviously, but that police car,
Right.
It was
the Pavlovian response.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's pretty wild. But
That's so
anyway,
funny.
they almost got me. But
Yeah.
Speaking of time travel,
the
yeah.
ticket would be $8, right? So it would have been okay.
Stern warning.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we keep
How
getting in
would you
the
prove it?
Yeah. That's right. Stopwatches and flying machines.
Very
Anyway.
good, very good. I saw that the U.S. Postal Service has just released a new stamp collection.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's honoring lowriders. So I thought, well, what if we had the ability to do our own stamps? What would we put? What would your theme be? What cars? And what would it look like?
Brian, why don't you go?
Well, I can think of a couple off the top.
Don't you steal any of my ideas.
I think, all Porsches are all 911s is probably too easy. Show me all the M cars, right? Wouldn't that be a fun series? Going
that'd be
back
cool.
to the E28 and the E30 and all that. But that's my vote. I think those would make for good
I love
stamps.
that idea.
So.
Yeah, because you want something that has a range where you can have enough of a variety that keeps it interesting.
Right. 911s all look the same. No one would know the difference. Yeah.
No, that's a
guys?
great choice.
Thanks. What about you, Lindsey?
Well, I mean, I have to go with Broncos.
Why?
Although you could also do, so 2 options. You could either do Bronco because the body styles have been varied enough. You could keep it interesting. And there is a current one, so a lot of different generations would connect to it.
Right.
I think you could also do a Shelby collection because you could do
Sure.
the 2 Cobras, you could do the GT40, you could do the Mustangs,
You could do Carroll.
Again, right, exactly.
Right?
So there's a good, again, you have a lot of options to keep it interesting. And I think with Ford versus Ferrari, introducing a new generation to those cars, there might be more, even more appeal than there would have been.
Yeah, you guys are way more academic than I am.
So what did you choose?
I'm going TV movie cars.
Oh,
and I'm
that's
going
fine.
80s
Well,
Man,
that's-
I'm going Knight Rider.
that
Dukes of
rules,
Hazzard.
actually.
I just think
Yeah.
that would be an amazing set of stamps.
Yeah.
That would be.
It would.
And I think even people that are not stamp collectors would collect them and they would never get used. But that'd be fantastic.
Well,
That'd be
it's
so fun.
genius because it's crossover into popular culture, right? I mean, not everyone can appreciate an E46, but everyone, who can't, who doesn't love, the DeLorean from Back to the Future or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Either that or the Bond cars. And I guess that's
Ooh,
less
that's another
US,
one.
right?
Ooh,
More
yeah.
British and German a little bit. And but the Bond cars could be a good set of stamps.
Well, and I thought that I had seen one of the cars that's on the lowrider stamps is called Pocket Change. It's the green and yellow. I think it's the Cutlass. And when I was at the Louvre in 2011, there was a lowrider displayed under the pyramid in the Louvre.
Really?
And it was also green and yellow and blue. And I'm like, wait, that's the car that was at the Louvre.
That's cool.
So
That's
I asked our research assistant. It turns out that was not correct, but they do have the same color scheme of green and yellow and blue. But the one that was at the Louvre is called Orgullo Mexicano, which was a Chevy Monte Carlo.
I thought you could say it was called Walking Around Money.
Yeah. But it was the weirdest,
The
most
position.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I walked into the Louvre and I'm like, okay, so it was all the expressions of no matter where you go, you're always home, or I can't leave, I'm still in LA even though I'm in France.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
And then you had a hamburger and called it a day, right?
Right. Went to McDonald's and I was like, I'm very at home in France. No reason.
I'm trying to imagine the tour. It's like, ladies and gentlemen, on your left is the Mona Lisa. Right?
Orgullo Mexicano.
I love it.
That's some tour, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I was seeing something when we first walked in and saw it. I'm like, this can't be okay. Yeah, but that's what it was.
Very funny.
Well, when the USPS does these, they'll have us to credit, right? So.
That's
There
right.
you go. I know, right?
Maybe we can get that car show as a logo on one of them as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's what we need. We need that car show stamps with our logo, and then we each get to pick one car.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
That's goals,
sold.
right, guys?
Sold. Life goals. It sounds like there is an announcement coming in April about the Tesla Roadster. So this is one of these cars that was teased. There was a working model that Elon took Jay Leno in.
Yeah.
but it's never. People have put deposits down, and it's never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Right.
So I don't know whether the announcement is coming on the 1st of April. If it is, I think that's a completely different announcement.
That tells us everything we need to know.
Well, even this people that put down the deposits for Cybertrucks years and years ago finally got their Cybertrucks, right?
Right.
So, I have faith, I hope, but
Yeah. So in that sense, you can't.
we
say
know how
it's
that
never
worked out.
coming. Yeah.
Right. So we'll see. But I think also Elon has said that potentially that car will be the last people-focused car. So what he means by that is everything else is going to be more automated.
Huh.
Interesting.
Tesla are obviously moving away from cars to robots, but so maybe it's the swan song.
Yeah. Huh.
They're like, we have to deliver at least one before we just
Yeah.
cancel all the
Yeah.
cars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Stay tuned, right?
I think everyone listening knows how we feel about that. But
Yes. Well, we will see in April, see what the announcement is,
Yeah,
if it actually becomes an announcement, and see whether it's one of those 1st of April announcements or later in the year.
yeah.
Well, do we know? Because I feel like at this point it's been like a decade since the Roadster was teased and people were able to put their deposits down. I mean, it's been a long time.
Think of the interest on those deposits.
Right?
That's gone into
How do you think
Elon's
they're
pocket.
funding everything else?
Yeah.
Paying for those rocket ships with
That's
deposits
right.
from
That's right.
from the Tesla Roadster. So we will see. But if you've actually put a deposit down on a Tesla Roadster, please send us a comment because we would love to know if you've had any advanced communication.
Yeah,
about
tell
it.
us why.
Yeah, we have lots of questions.
We are a judgment-free zone.
No,
That car show is judgment-free.
Yeah.
But if you have put a deposit down, let us know, and we promise not to quiz you. We're just curious. Good news if you're a Mercedes-Benz fan, because they're bringing back the Black Series.
Yep.
The Black Series was always the unobtainable. I can't talk this evening. What's the word I'm looking for?
Unobtainium. Yeah.
There we
it's
go.
on the
Thank you.
periodic
That's why we're a team.
table of elements. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're bringing a new one back. So I thought I would ask you guys, and let's see if we've all got the same answer. What is the greatest AMG Black Series of history?
So I am very partial to the C63 Black Series because I feel like it was such a sleeper in the sense that if you didn't know what you were looking at, you'd go like, okay, Mercedes sedan, and then you drive it.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Ryan, what did you have?
Well, kind of related, the CLK 63, like that is the one for me. I think they were only made in 2008. I've actually known a handful of people that have owned them. Supposedly wonderful cars, 507, I think, horsepower. They just look the business. They have these beautiful forged wheels. I can go on and on. Let down a little bit, I think, by the 7-speed automatic, although I think people have done some conversions. But I think when you look at it in sort of the, through the lens of it being like a German muscle car, I think the automatic is okay. And damn, we all should have just bought one when they were cheap because they have really, really come up. They're just cool. I mean, and I think silver is the color on those. But yeah, that's my favorite AMG Black car, no question.
What about you?
And
Well, I was saying the good news is we've all got different cars.
Okay,
Perfect.
good.
Which is great.
We're really good at all choosing different things, so it keeps it interesting.
Yeah. So I went for the SL65 AMG, which is it was always a hardtop car, right? The SL traditionally was a hardtop convertible.
Yeah.
But this was, you couldn't get it in a convertible.
Right.
And I just think the stance on it, I just think it looks,
It's cool. I forgot that wasn't that was a hard top, and I think that was the car where it had so much power and torque they had to dial down the power in the first couple of gears, right, as to not explode the transmission. That was a cool thing for sure. I'm looking at it now.
It was outsourced to HWA, who are the guys who are resto modding the old 190s.
Okay.
So, they did a lot of work on different AMG cars, and one of the owners of HWA was a founder of AMG.
Okay.
When he sold the company,
Hammers with attitude.
Do you know what the rarest black Mercedes Black Series car is?
I do not, so I would love for you to tell us.
Is it lame, Dan? Is it something really terrible?
I won't say it's lame, but
a C-Class wagon or something.
But it's not one that I don't think I would want to buy it. But it's the SLK. They did an SLK Black Series.
Oh, that's right. Not in the States, though, if I recall.
I don't know, but had nearly 400 horsepower, I think.
Yeah.
But it was weird because it was, you wouldn't expect it in that smaller car.
Yeah. Do you know what, Dan? That was the worst SLK ever made in my eyes. That was the one that sort of aped the SLR look, but it was that era of like Chrysler, Mercedes Benz, where the interior was just not to snuff. And yeah, that's an unfortunate looking thing. I'm looking at it now. So, I mean, it's still badass. Don't get me wrong, but I think you can only put so much lipstick on a pig, huh?
It's like the ginger stepchild, isn't it?
You said it.
All things considered, it's not the one you would choose.
I like redheads.
So I think it's coming out very soon, the new Black Series. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's great that they're continuing that tradition.
Any sense of price?
Let me see if our research department has a.
Speaking of unobtainium.
A lot.
Yeah, you have to ask.
Well, you do that. It's so good to see like the pre-merger AMGs finally coming into their own. Took a little time, but
now
I'm guessing this is at least $200,000. So it's.
Oh, I would imagine it's
maybe $300,000.
$500,000, I would guess.
Okay.
Multiples.
Well, I'm still living in the 70s, so
that's true.
I'm still slamming on the brakes for 72
in Ryan's
Impalas.
timeline, it's affordable. So we're going to go with that.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. Lindsey, you had a story about a dealer being accused of selling a Jeep to a person with dementia.
Yes. So apparently, it was in Carrollton, Georgia, which I'm like, oh, there's like Carroll tie-in, of course. But yeah, so apparently this man that was living in a senior living facility responded to an ad that the dealer had placed, and the dealership ended up sending a salesman to the senior living facility.
Oh boy.
But unfortunately, the man that had contacted them has dementia. So he ended up somehow, I think they took him, like picked him up and took him back to the dealership. Wow. So there's a contract, and the man has since passed away. Before he passed away, neither he nor his wife had any memory of like signing the contract or buying the car. And the dealer is refusing to unwind the deal.
No.
Which is why, I mean, it's crazy. It should be a no-brainer, but it got me thinking. And so I'm curious what you guys, what you may have had, what stories you may have, because I was thinking like, okay, what was the craziest car dealership experience I had over the years? And before I got the X3, I was also looking at manual 4Runners, and because I think they made them like mid 90s, you could get a manual 4Runner. And they're rare. And so when they came up, you had to jump on it. And I had been stalking, all the dealers and Craigslist and classified ads, all that up here. And one came up at a dealer in downtown Seattle. And so I went right after work and I talked to a sales guy, and he did not know that they had taken this car in. So I knew before he did. So that, I was like, okay, it's fine. It's a new car. He couldn't find it on the lot. And I was like, all right, maybe this is not to be. And then he said, oh, no, I figured it out. It's in our, I don't know what you'd call it, because it wasn't a repair shop, but it's like where they take the cars to refurbish them before they put them out on the lot after they take them in on trade, because this car needed some body work apparently too. So he ended up taking me back into this shop, which I don't think customers are supposed to have access to. And because I don't think customers are supposed to go there, I didn't have like the correct shoes, and I ended up falling in the shop.
Really?
And I was like, you know what? This is not meant to be. I gotta go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesh Toyota.
That's right. Exactly. And and the rest is history.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. What's your worst experience, Dan?
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I when I bought the Corolla, I signed all the forms, but they didn't take any money, and the cars were in high demand at the time.
Yeah.
So I ended up like chasing them, and the car was in LA, and I was up in Seattle at the time, and I ended up having to talk to the dealer principal and say, look, you've done all the forms, you've not taken any money, but I don't want you to sell this car to someone else. And he gave me his word, but that was a lot of chasing just to make sure that car was mine, even though I signed the forms.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you removed your hands from his neck, and the rest is history. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah. I'm thinking back, I've generally had good experiences, but as a younger person, when my credit wasn't quite, where it is maybe today as an old man, I do remember going into, it was a high-end sort of used lot, right? and being offered a 14.99% interest rate, which I think talked them down to 12.99 or 11.99, and thought I'd really,
Crack negotiator that you are.
yes, and and then of course realizing very quickly, that was not a good deal. I've always argued that in high school people should be taught like practical math, and compound interest and this kind of thing in a way that I don't think I ever was, not to make excuses. But I was happy to get a car, I guess, didn't keep the car
Right.
very long, got better credit scores as I, got a real job and this kind of stuff. But in retrospect, I sort of feel like they took advantage of me. I guess I was happy. But this dealership, do we know the name of this dealership with the dementia couple? Because we should call them out. And at least now we know who's buying these Jeeps in 2026.
Right. Let's see. Okay, I can find
Well,
it.
it's Scott Evans Chrysler Dodge
Oh, it
Jeep,
is.
but
That's
they
right.
allegedly did this. Let's
right,
not
well.
break ourselves into jail, or if you are, you need to sue Ryan Barkey. That's Ryan Barkey.
Good luck. You're bringing that credit score right back down.
There does seem to be this theme right now of, at least in the press, a few sketchy dealerships. Because
man.
I think 2 weeks ago there was the story about the guy who bought the GT3. And then he found out that the car was actually a training car that had
Yes.
been used for training and stuff. So
yes.
there's a lawsuit going on there as well.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
that. Is it the lime green or the birch green or whatever GT3? There, I think Vin Wiki did a piece on it. I've seen some stories online where this car just keeps getting passed around and sort of getting washed, right? The title and all this. But they have now traced this car back to some basically drug addict who bought this thing new with cash and ran it into the ground. And you can hide a lot, right, with the process of titling a car.
Yeah, if you know what you're
and all
doing
this kind of
with
stuff.
Title washing. Yeah, for sure.
And don't get us started on that whole the bringer trailer thing, right? With the cars that are bought and sold by like 6 of the same people, right? Specifically late model GT3s. Did you? Dan
No.
McGinnis, our buddy
No.
Dan McGinnis brought this to our attention. But basically, someone actually looked at Bring a Trailer, and we love Bring a Trailer. I had to laugh. We're in an Airbnb, and I kept thinking as I walked in the door, all the parallels between like Airbnb and Bring a Trailer, like everything looks much better in photos, right?
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
And there's like an online
smoker's car.
There's like an online dating parallel in there.
Oh
but,
God,
I digress.
yeah, especially with filters and all. No, this place is perfectly nice, but yeah, I think in a nutshell, what was happening is someone actually ran the data on late model GT3s and specifically Tourings, and they realized that of all the 15, 992 Tourings that have been bought and sold on Bring a Trailer, all transactions except for maybe one were between the same 5 or 6 individuals, and often cases cars were sold by a dealership to a friend of the dealer, and then the car would show up with 3 extra miles at another dealer. And what's happening is they're artificially setting the market at about $100,000 more than sticker, and it's really discouraging. It's like anything, right? You have something and people are going to take advantage of it, and I think that's what's happening. But it's too bad because, I remember the days of being able to go in and just, you bought what you want, right?
Yeah.
And it's tomfoolery like this, right? That has really changed that, changed the experience, and it's unfortunate, but
Foolishness and nonsense all around.
Yeah. But a car you can buy is that Ford have just announced they're opening the books again for the GTD.
That's right.
So my question to you guys is actually, is it less appealing now that you can potentially buy it again? When it first sold out, it was almost like an exclusive car.
Yeah.
And we know that
Right.
when exclusive cars come out, they generally go up in value. They get appreciated. But, now that you could potentially buy it, is it less appealing?
Were those sold as a limited series?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Okay.
They were. I don't have the numbers, but it was a limited number. We're going to be built, and you had to apply. And what I thought was interesting in the article that I read about this next round of applications is that they said the people that applied in the initial round were told that their application would be kept on file. So I'm like, oh, I wonder if you want to reapply, you just go back in and you're like, please consider me again.
Yeah. I don't know. That car never really did it for me. You know, I think they're cool, but I don't know. I never got quite as excited as maybe some other people did.
Like
But
me.
you've driven one, Dan. I haven't. But
I
you like
haven't
the
actually.
GT. Oh,
No,
okay.
I've driven the Dark Horse. I've not driven the
Oh,
GTD.
that's right. That's right.
I've
That's
been in the
right.
presence of a few. We've had a few at different car shows and stuff.
Sure.
But it's 325,000, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it starts.
That's what they start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but,
and I think I heard people were saying that was what they had announced the starting price was going to be. And then before they even came out, I think there were some delays and people were saying the price had gone up, like the base price before they were even out.
Yeah. Because I think a lot of the car is built in Canada. And presumably if there
Because they're
are
multi-matic.
tariffs, then that would have taken effect.
Right.
There's a really good video of Chris Harris and Max Verstappen taking one around the track. So if you get the chance, have a look at that video. It's very, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah. I'm sure it's wonderful, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's just not where my money is going, I guess.
I will take one for the team for that car
There we
show,
go.
and I
That's
will
dedication.
apply. For me,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I love the story behind how it was created. I was very lucky to be at one of the unveiling events when they debuted it at Monterey. It was at Spanish Bay. They introduced the car and Jim Farley spoke and talked about the story behind it and their goals for it. And I love that they looked at the GT3 RS and they're like, we want to build a competitor to that, which is not something that Ford had done. Yeah. And like, that's an incredible goal because people don't typically compare Ford and Porsche.
Right.
But when you look at this car, it's like you can see the engineering, and like for Multimatic to have created it with Ford, they're the ones that created the new GT. So I really love it.
Yeah,
It might be too capable for someone like me, though. You know, it's
right. I think Multimatic, let's say their name correctly. I think they actually provide parts for Ferrari. So
I think they do.
Sounds right. Yeah.
It's a high end. You know,
Sure.
This isn't your Ford Mustang that's going to be at the Cars and Coffee, leaving in a really disrespectful way. But it's a lot of money for a blue oval.
I know.
It is. Multimatic is they're the company that developed the GT that won Le Mans in 2017, which was the 50th anniversary. So they know what they're doing.
So, yeah, it's got all the right parts. It checks off all the right boxes. You know, it is a great story. And, you know, it's just, there are a lot of options for, you know, $300,000+.
Absolutely.
So.
Maybe Ford need to create a new brand that is like their racing brand.
Yeah.
And it's separated to, because when you say Mustang GTD, right, the Mustang thing, but if they had some sort of RS GTD, then maybe it would be more interesting. I don't know.
I can't get away. D in my mind with cars means diesel, right? And I think of all the BMWs and other things that have used D in the, you know, in the naming, the nomenclature, you know, Mercedes, and it's just, so I can't get past that. It's not a sexy name. Speaking of not a sexy name, and bring us back to Toyota real quick, not to hijack the conversation, but there is a new Toyota truck. It's the TRD Hammer, and I have a couple problems with that one.
It sounds like a made-up like superhero.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of something you can't flush.
Yeah.
And you have to use the hammer.
Something you use so you can, right?
Yeah.
And in my mind, you know, my hammer is AMG, right? Like an AMG hammer, and that's all that will ever mean in the car or truck world, I guess, for that. Yeah. Naming is more important than I think we give it credit for. It's like you look at Acura, and when they stopped using names and they went to TL and, you know, TSX and RL and all this, sales went down. And I think there's probably a correlation, right? It's just, I think, you know, other than maybe Mercedes-Benz and BMW, it's just, you know, we want names, but those names mean something, and you have to be very, very careful what you name things. So, you know, the whole Chevy Nova story and all that, right? From the 70s.
Yeah. Again, I think Ryan, when he went to Santa Fe, he didn't realize he entered a wormhole to the 70s.
I may be the youngest person here. There's that. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's
does
like
the Airbnb have a hot tub?
Be very careful. Yeah. I mean, like you said, naming, it's like when you go to name a child, you realize how many associations you have with different names that you didn't know until you start throwing them out, and you're like, well, no, that was that person in junior high that I didn't like or was mean to me or whatever.
Well, we've talked about this. My daughter's name is Ilsa. I don't think that's any secret. She was born before the movie Frozen, right? And a couple 3 years later, there was Elsa. Close
Right.
enough if you're 3 years old. And unfortunately, Elsa was like the beautiful queen or whatever. But what if she had been the Wicked Witch? Can you imagine how difficult it's? If you want to be unique,
Come on, Disney. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, sorry. Back to cars.
I was just thinking there's going to be a whole lot of kids that are named after the Wicked movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can tell, when you look generationally, you're like, what movies were popular when you were younger? And then people end up naming their kids those names.
Well, I think Lindsey, Dan, and Ryan were sort of their era, right?
Yeah. Were there a lot of Ryans? I mean, I know there were a lot of Ryans when I was in school.
Yeah.
There surprisingly
Snog them all. Sorry.
There was one other Lindsay, which actually both sets of parents were shocked about because it's not very common. But Dan, were you one of many Daniels in school?
I think like one or two, but I was named after an Elton John song.
Really?
Oh.
That's, which song is that? I'm trying to think.
Daniel.
Oh God, yeah. I'm
just gonna go out on a limb here. And
if you were tuning in for highbrow conversation, this is the wrong podcast.
I'm thinking "Candle in the Wind." Like, where?
Don't shoot me. I'm the piano player
from the '70s. You think I know this?
Right.
That's so funny.
Just tune into the radio, see what's playing at the minute.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny.
Ryan, were you named after a famous Ryan?
No, I was not, and it's of course an Irish name, and we're not Irish at all. So I'm not sure. My sister's name is Erin. So two Irish.
Lovely Irish names.
Yeah,
maybe your parents
German,
are.
So I could have been named something.
Right. Well, people say like Francophile. What's the Irish word for the Irish equivalent for like if you're an Irish enthusiast?
Potato-phile.
Potato-phile. I think it's funny that some folks over here call it St. Patty's Day.
Oh, that hit a nerve with some folks this year, didn't it? Yeah.
Where did that come from?
It's not TTY, it's DDY, right?
DUDY, yeah. Well, because here it's a nickname for Patrick.
Yeah.
But I don't know why the double D's. I feel like there's a joke in there somewhere.
They write themselves, don't they, right now? They write themselves.
Yes.
What have you guys got coming up over the next couple of weeks? Much?
This morning it was brilliantly sunny, so hopefully
you're always up to something. Yeah.
I know. Stay tuned.
But you get that GT4 out, if nothing else. Huh?
Yeah.
I do want to give a shout out to the Reset Hotel. So a couple of weeks ago, I stayed, and it was beyond Joshua Tree. So you head west from LA and keep going. Eventually, you get to Joshua Tree, and just the other side was this place called the Reset Hotel.
Is that where the streets have no name?
Almost, but apparently.
Wait, you can check in, but you can never leave.
Oh my God! That's not you two.
But no. Led Zeppelin wrote a song about I think it's called 29 Palms, which is where I was staying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Led Zeppelin wrote a song about it. But this hotel was all shipping containers. So you stayed in a shipping container.
In the middle of the desert.
But I took the Audi out there and stopped at one of the rest stops to pick up some firewood because each container had a fire pit outside. And anyway, I say to the guy, can I take any of the firewood? And he said, just take the biggest pile, None of the fuckers told me that there was a wind advisory and no one was allowed fires.
Oh.
So
they're like, take the biggest pile.
Yeah, right. I'm not going to sell any more.
That's amazing.
A whole set of logs in the car that couldn't get used, but the hotel was wonderful. Oh, no. It was a great place for a reset. So the Reset Hotel, 29 Palms, highly recommend it.
And what a shame because nothing burns like Joshua Tree wood.
It's true. Yeah. Right.
Wait, so you're on a shipping container in the middle of the desert, like your unclaimed cargo or something. Was it air conditioning? Was it pleasant?
Yeah.
It
was very pleasant. They had air conditioning. They had a pool. They had I didn't use it, but they had like one of those plunge pools.
Okay. Yeah. Also in a shipping container.
That was just like outside. But an infrared sauna.
Oh,
what does that mean?
Red light.
It's a red light sauna, so it's different to like I don't know, Lindsay, you
The heated stones.
Like a
Yeah.
heat lamp.
Yeah.
I consider myself a bit of a sauna aficionado.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, they have, you'll have like the heat lamp with the stones is the traditional one.
Okay.
But an infrared one is red light, and that's how it generates the sauna effect. So you go in and hang out, and then you go jump in the plunge pool.
Okay.
Or not.
Did you get a reset? Or did you feel it was?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you then reset as soon as you get back to the office. Yeah,
Right.
it's gone.
Yeah.
But no, it was a great place.
Nice.
And I'm not a fan of the traffic getting out there. So coming back, I left at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And there is nothing better than leaving the desert and the sun coming up behind you as you're slowly making your way back to LA.
Do you drive through Riverside on the way out there?
I think you
You
do.
have to buzz San Bernardino.
Yeah, San Bernardino.
Right, San Bernardino. I'm sorry,
Blow
Riverside
some
County.
kisses
I
to
think
San
it is.
Bernardino.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Do not stop.
Yeah. But Dan, you took your drone with you, right?
I did. Yeah, I got myself a new drone and got some good shots.
You got some cool footage. I think you posted a little clip maybe, and it looked amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds
That
great.
location, I would highly recommend it if you're looking for somewhere to go and just kind of chill out for a while. It's funny though. My hairdresser, I said to my hairdresser, "Oh yeah, I went out to 29 Palms." He's like, "Did you do shrooms?" I'm like, "What?" And he went, "Did you do shrooms?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't do shrooms. Everyone does shrooms out there." I'm like, "No, I didn't do shrooms."
Well, that
So
car show
apparently the real
offsite.
way to do it is to do
How
shrooms.
about it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want the full reset, you got to do some
That's right.
shrooms while you're at the reset.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I just had logs.
Yeah.
Unused.
So wait, do you
Really
still
too
have
bad.
this wood? What did you do
in
with it?
the,
Is this
in the back of the
okay? I was going to
Audi,
say because I think probably that's their scam, right? You leave it behind and they go collect it and then they go sell it to the
right.
next guy, right? You know?
Yeah.
So-
Dan's like, not on my watch. It's going back to LA with me, where I also won't
Pallets in
use
the
it.
car.
I love it. I love it.
So
For
yeah,
your next visit.
Yeah.
when are you driving back, Ryan?
We are driving back on Saturday morning. So by the time you listen to this, I'll still be in Santa Fe. If you happen to be down in Santa Fe, and I know there are a couple of you, let's grab a beer or something. And
Nice.
we can marvel at all the Land Rover Defenders.
Exactly. The land of the Defender. I mean,
That's right.
I think I need to make a pilgrimage there now.
Do you remember those old T-shirts like from the 60s, 70s? Defend Brooklyn. You know, there should be Defend Santa Fe, and then there's a
we
picture
go.
of a
Well, I think we-
Defender.
Put
With
that
like
in
a
our
winky
merch
face.
store, right?
You're right, Sam. Are you listening?
Yeah. That's so funny.
Love it,
Nice. Anything else anyone wanted to talk about tonight?
man. That was damn near an hour.
I know. I feel like that was jam packed. We've all been doing so many different car related things.
Yeah. I just want to say, if you haven't, go back, listen to the Angeles Death Highway episode, and also listen to the Myron Vernus episode. I think those were those are in the pantheon, or should be, of that car show
Great
episodes.
episodes.
I'm proud of. So
Yeah.
Well, it's always nice because I think we all go back and listen, just to sort of check our work. And it's always nice when you're listening and you find yourself laughing organically and you're like, I was there and I'm still finding it funny. Or I think, like you said, Ryan, because when you're recording, you're kind of thinking like ahead and paying attention to the conversation. But then when you listen, you get to just enjoy the conversation.
right.
And particularly the Angeles Death Highway one, we covered so many topics that there were a couple moments where I was like, oh, I forgot we even talked about that. And that's, so it was brand new for me too.
Yeah, you get lost in the conversation. It's a good one. So.
Yeah, it's a good time. Yeah, highly recommend.
Well, I think we're at a show, so who's going to give us the phrase that pays?
I'm happy to send us off with an exhortation to remember, always be driving. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week.